The Sean Campbell Show, a podcast for the aspiring and hungry entrepreneur.
Hey everybody, it's Sean Campbell, The Sean Campbell Show, a podcast by entrepreneurs and for entrepreneurs. And I'm doing my first video. I'm doing the first podcast on video because I've done several podcasts on videos that I post on my IGTV and my Facebook, either on The Sean Campbell Show or Campbell Marketing. But my first one, kind of debuting the little side of the office here, and yeah, kind of did a little dance. First time I danced on video. Probably the first time I ever kind of did a little dance on video, which I'm not ashamed that's the first time. But I'm excited. I've kind of kept this side of my office on the down low as it's been quote unquote under construction for a while now. I got a hookup on all the soundproof stuff that you see behind me, and what you see behind me is kind of reciprocated on the other side of the room, and we got the podcast stuff all set up and square to go. The mics are all hooked up and things are looking good, and yeah, it's been a bit of a process the last few weeks, and I probably have shifted around my office about 12 times every day for a while. And again, because of COVID and everything, I've had a limited amount of people that have been around, so I've kind of had extra time, and this is one of the things I wanted to do after I got this hookup for all the soundproof stuff, was really to kind of dig a little deep into this side of my business and invest into something to kind of help me grow and kind of polish up the podcast a little bit more, and offer this for my clients. And if and whenever they start to come back in and see the site, and they have another medium that they could really broadcast their message and ultimately increasing their brand awareness, which is the topic today. Kind of a mixture of what other means do you have of or opportunity out there to really help out your brand awareness. So not only the podcast, but also wanted to talk about this today because someone actually messaged me regarding LinkedIn, and this. I don't want to talk about which profession, but let's just say it was totally lined up to be positioned very, very well on LinkedIn, and to really assist this person's overall online strategy. And I was pretty blown away that she wasn't on LinkedIn yet. And no, she's not a client, but somebody who's attended a ton of my functions and workshops and gatherings and whatnot. And it was a shock. It was a shock, and I felt a little bit responsible because I hadn't conveyed the message of just how important LinkedIn is, especially for her type of industry, which I really don't want to say. But nonetheless, you're just going to take my word on it. But it was really what other platforms or opportunities do you have out there to get your message about? We talked about this before about your omnipresence, and my challenge to you is here in the next few weeks, what I want you to do first is put down in the comments below what platform or, opportunity do you have or wish you had yourself present on. I reposted something, I believe it was from Goldcast or maybe Inc. or something. Think about if you had started your marketing a year from now, where would you be today? How would you look like? And one of the things I've always done when I started my business was always anticipate where I wanted to be a year from now on this platform, or on with an email campaign or my podcast or whatever. And I always thought with the ends in mind and with the ends to everything. Where would I be? Who am I going to be a year from now, 5 years, 10 years from now? What does that look like? And what platforms or what mediums of promoting my business am I strong at? And so I reverse engineer everything, and I kind of dive right in right away and kind of figure it out. I'd rather do something and fail at it than not try it and just kind of have it up on my whiteboard on things to do for the longest time. It'll never get taken care of. So, that's kind of one of the reasons why I want to talk about this today is, and show you this podcast area is that, think about where you want to be 5-10 years from now and reverse engineer it. Do you have a podcast? Are you on YouTube? Do you have an email campaign going on? Are you stronger on Facebook, on LinkedIn? If it's applicable, how are you on Instagram or Pinterest or, who knows if TikTok's going to be around? But if that applies to your audience, how strong are you on TikTok? And dive into those platforms. Get after it. If you don't know too much about those platforms, reach out to somebody who does and schedule an hour with them and kind of ask for a crash course. Do something about it. There's too many excuses out there of why you're not. You got to get rid of those excuses and just dive into it. If you're on Facebook only right now, why are you just on Facebook? Especially if you sell a product and, it's a product that could be, photographed, beautifully. I've seen that mistake so many times. And then on the flip side, I've seen people who sell products and they do very, very well on Instagram, but they kind of neglect other platforms to complement those efforts. You think of an omnipresence marketing strategy and where you're at everywhere and across all these platforms, including YouTube, including a podcast, and including your email marketing campaign. And remember what I always preach about, brand awareness. How many people are you reaching every month and how many impressions are you making? Okay? Your sales will inevitably follow as your presence online and as your positioning as a leader in your community and in your industry increase. But it's not going to increase by just, sending out a tweet every, few days about, how great your product or service or your business is. So it's not going to get it done. So do that. Put down in the comments what your top 1 or 2 opportunities are of those things I've stated. Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is it LinkedIn? Is it a podcast? Is it your YouTube channel? Is it your email marketing campaign? Is it your website? And I want you to put that down and hold yourself accountable by doing so and get after it and use the rest of this year to reach out to myself or somebody who specializes in this area and schedule an hour with them and get it done. And just go after it. It's way better to kind of go after it and make a few mistakes along the way than it is just sit idle and not do anything about your branding and the awareness of your business. So that is my little spiel today. I really appreciate you listening or watching me. There's going to be a little circle right here if you're watching me on YouTube. Please subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thank you for following me on my podcast, where you can listen to it on Google, on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, and several other places you can listen to your favorite podcast. I'm Sean Campbell, Campbell Marketing. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for listening to The Sean Campbell Show. Follow us on Instagram at The Sean Campbell Show.